Let's be honest, we all have big dreams and ambitions, but sometimes it feels like there's something standing in our way. It might be self-doubt, a lack of focus, or the endless distractions that life throws at us. But what if I told you that the biggest battle you face isn't about the circumstances around you, but the thoughts inside your own mind? Today, we're diving deep into unlocking your mind's true potential, combining ancient Stoic wisdom with modern psychological insights. This isn't just about abstract theories. I'm here to guide you through practical steps that will transform not only the way you think, but also the way you live. I want to ask you to stay with me through every step of this journey. If you find value in what we're exploring, a simple action like subscribing will go a long way. It helps more than you might think, and trust me, you won't want to miss the transformation that happens when you apply these ancient strategies to your modern life. Now, let's embark on this journey together and see just how far we can go when we break free from the limits we've placed on ourselves. There was a time in my life when I felt completely stuck. Every day seemed like I was trudging through mud. My dreams were always just out of reach, slipping through my fingers like sand. I was filled with doubt, constantly questioning whether I had what it took to reach my goals and make an impact. Sound familiar? The gnawing fear of not being good enough, of not reaching the heights we know we're capable of. Then, I came across the concept of neuroplasticity. It might sound like a fancy term, but it's truly miraculous. The idea that our brains can change, adapt, and evolve throughout our lives, not just in childhood, but even as adults, is empowering. Every new experience, every skill we learn, reshapes our brain, expanding our potential. Think about it. Every challenge we take on, every new skill we develop, is literally rewiring our brain. It's not just about overcoming obstacles. It's about growing stronger, more capable versions of ourselves with each step. This is a huge realization, isn't it? Let's take a page from the Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius. He once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He understood that our greatest power lies within, how we think, how we respond, and how we choose to act. Every new challenge is like lifting weights for the mind, strengthening our ability to take on bigger tasks and more complex challenges. When was the last time you pushed yourself to do something difficult? It might have been uncomfortable, even scary, but in that moment, you weren't just stepping out of your comfort zone. You were training your mind to handle greater challenges. So, why not embrace this incredible ability? Why not push yourself to think bigger, act bolder, and expand beyond the boundaries you've set for yourself? Each time you do, you're not just getting closer to your dreams. You're becoming a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. It's time we all recognize that our potential isn't fixed. With every new experience, every hurdle we overcome, we grow. Our brains adapt, and our capabilities expand. I'll never forget the moment I realized how much my own limiting beliefs were holding me back. I sat at my desk, staring at a project that I thought was beyond my skills. Every time I tried to start, a voice inside my head whispered, "You can't do this. You're not good enough." It felt suffocating, like I was trapped by my own thoughts. Can you relate to that feeling? One night, while reading about the Stoics, I came across a powerful idea from Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That hit me hard. What if I could choose to react differently to my self-doubt? What if I didn't believe the voice telling me I couldn't? That was a turning point. I began challenging those limiting beliefs. Every time I heard that whisper of "I can't," I pushed back with "Why not?" It wasn't easy. At times, it felt like I was in a battle with my own mind. But every challenge to those beliefs was a step toward freedom. And with each step, the work became easier, the project less intimidating. This is where the concept of a growth mindset comes in. Carol Dweck, a psychologist, popularized this idea. Our abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Adopting this mindset created a love for learning and a resilience essential for achieving great things. That's exactly what the Stoics practiced, turning every obstacle into an opportunity for improvement. So, I ask you, what limiting beliefs are holding you back? Think about that project you believe is too much for you, or that dream you think is too big. What if you chose to challenge those beliefs? What if you embraced the possibility that you could grow, that you could be more than you are right now? Every belief is a choice, and every choice can be changed. Choose growth. Choose to believe in your potential, and watch as new doors open and what once seemed impossible unfolds before your eyes. Have you ever started a task, buzzing with energy, only to find hours later you've barely scratched the surface? I've been there more times than I care to admit. My mind used to wander endlessly, jumping from one thought to the next, like a monkey in a tree. It was frustrating, especially when I had important goals that required my full attention. Then I read something from Seneca about the shortness of life and how we mustn't waste time on meaningless pursuits. That hit me hard. I realized I was letting precious time slip through my fingers because I couldn't focus. That's when I decided to take control of my mind, not just to boost my productivity, but to honor the time I had. I began experimenting with different techniques to improve focus and memory, everything from meditation to brain exercises, and even tweaking my diet. Slowly but surely, I started noticing changes. My mind became clearer, more focused. But here's the key. It wasn't just about trying to control my wandering thoughts. It was about understanding them and working with them. Like the Stoics, I learned the value of self-awareness in mastering my own mind. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." I took that to heart. I started nurturing my thoughts with positive, focused energy, and gradually the changes stuck. Now think about this. What if you could harness the full potential of your mind? Imagine the clarity and the success that could come from that level of focus. It's not just a pipe dream. It starts with believing you can improve, then taking small, deliberate actions every day. Whether it's setting aside 10 minutes for meditation or challenging yourself with a new skill, every effort counts. What are you feeding your mind? Is it information that enriches you, or is it just cluttering your thoughts? Remember, your cognitive abilities aren't set in stone. They're like muscles. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen them. Embrace this journey, trust in the process, and watch as your focus, memory, and overall success grow. Finally, there was a time when I believed that emotional strength meant pushing my feelings down and toughing it out. I thought ignoring my emotions would make me more successful. But let me tell you, ignoring your emotions doesn't make them disappear. It only makes them come back stronger, often when you least expect it. Through Stoicism, I learned that understanding and managing my emotions wasn't a weakness, it was a necessity. This journey isn't just about working harder, it's about understanding yourself and your mind. And when you do, the possibilities are endless. Guidance isn't about suppressing our emotions, it's about understanding and channeling them into productive outlets. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of governing our passions without becoming enslaved by them. From his teachings, I learned that emotional intelligence isn't about control in the sense of suppression. It's about alignment and understanding. It's about seeing our emotions as signals rather than directives. Think about it. How often do we pause to ask ourselves why we feel the way we do? Whether it's anger, joy, jealousy, or excitement, each emotion carries valuable insight about our state of mind, our environment, and our deeper needs. When we stop, reflect, and listen, we can manage our emotions with clarity, not just respond impulsively. This kind of awareness transforms our relationships and decisions. Consider the last time you felt a strong emotion, perhaps at work or in your personal life. Instead of reacting immediately, what if you had taken a step back to ask, what's truly driving this feeling? This pause can completely change how we interact with others and how we understand ourselves. It fosters deeper connections and helps us find more meaningful solutions to the challenges we face. Stoicism doesn't ask us to deny our feelings. On the contrary, it encourages us to reflect on them with the clarity of a philosopher. Even Marcus Aurelius, leading an empire and facing immense pressures, wrote about observing his emotions without becoming entangled in them. This practice, so similar to what we now call emotional intelligence, empowers us to choose how we respond to our feelings, rather than letting them unconsciously dictate our actions. So let's challenge ourselves to see our emotions not as obstacles, but as opportunities to learn and grow. Let's cultivate the habit of pausing, reflecting, and choosing a response that aligns with our values and goals. By mastering our emotions, we're not just becoming better leaders, friends, or family members, we're becoming better, more fulfilled humans. Life is full of curveballs. There are times when it feels like we're constantly dodging one setback after another. I once faced a series of challenges that felt like an unrelenting storm. Just when I thought I could catch my breath, another wave would come crashing down. It was during those difficult times that I learned the true meaning of resilience, not just bouncing back, but bouncing forward. The Stoics understood adversity well. They didn't just endure hardships, They embrace them as natural parts of life. Seneca famously said, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." This concept struck me deeply. It wasn't about avoiding the pain or stress, but about growing through it, becoming stronger and more resilient with each challenge. So, how do we cultivate this resilience? It starts with our mindset. Viewing stress and obstacles as opportunities for growth changes everything. Every challenge becomes a hidden lesson, waiting to be uncovered. Think back to a time when you thought you wouldn't make it through, but you did. You're stronger for it now. That's resilience. Practical steps matter too. Simple techniques like breath work and mindfulness can ground us when life gets overwhelming. I remember one particularly stressful day when I took a moment just to breathe deeply. It was a brief pause, yet it brought the clarity and calmness I needed to face the challenge ahead. Then, there's the art of letting go. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what's within our control. We waste so much energy stressing over outcomes that are beyond our influence. Learning to distinguish between what we can change and what we must accept is key to building emotional and mental strength. So the next time you find yourself in the middle of a storm, pause, breathe, and reflect on what you can control. Let go of what you cannot. Embrace the challenge, because it's an opportunity to forge your resilience. With each obstacle you overcome, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. And in doing so, you're preparing yourself for whatever comes next. Now let's talk about something that reshapes not just your physical health, but your mental clarity, nutrition, and sleep. I've been there, long days fueled by coffee and fast food, thinking I could catch up on sleep over the weekend. But eventually I hit a wall. My energy drained, my focus evaporated, and I felt emotionally drained. That was my wake-up call. I started researching how nutrition and sleep affect cognitive function, and what I found was eye-opening. Our brains are like high-performance vehicles. They need the right fuel to operate efficiently. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and whole foods don't just keep our bodies healthy. They're essential for brain function. They improve memory, speed up reaction times, and boost our mood. Drawing from Stoic philosophy, I realized how much Marcus Aurelius valued self-discipline and control, which extended to what we consume and how we rest. Our bodies and minds are intricately connected. Neglect one, and you neglect both. So, I revamped my diet to include brain-boosting foods like berries, nuts, fish, and greens, and I set a strict bedtime routine to ensure I got the rest I needed. But here's the question. Have you ever considered how what you eat affects how you think? Or noticed how a poor night's sleep can derail your entire day? It's not just about feeling good physically, it's about optimizing your brain's potential. When we give our brains the right nutrients and sufficient rest, we enhance cognitive abilities, improve decision-making, and maintain mental health. Now, I challenge you to reflect on your own habits. How might your diet and sleep be influencing your mental clarity? Implementing small changes can have profound effects. Start simple. Swap out that afternoon snack for something rich in antioxidants, or set a calming bedtime routine for better quality sleep. Lastly, have you ever visualized yourself achieving your greatest dreams? Feeling the exhilaration of crossing the finish line or landing your dream job? This isn't just daydreaming, it's a powerful tool for success. I know this firsthand. There was a time in my life when failure seemed constant. No matter how hard I tried, nothing seemed to go my way. But then I discovered the power of visualization and affirmations. At first, it felt silly, sitting there with my eyes closed, picturing my success. But over time, something shifted. I began to feel more confident, more in control of my destiny. The Stoics understood this concept too. They believed in premeditating on future challenges to mentally prepare for any outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote about imagining every possible setback, not to worry himself, but to face life prepared. In a similar way, my practice of visualization prepared me to seize success when the opportunity came, because I had already lived it in my mind. And then there are affirmations, powerful, positive statements that can reshape your reality. I began my days by affirming my capabilities. I am capable, competent, and ready to face whatever comes. These words became my armor against doubt and negativity. I share this with you because I believe in the power of mindset. By visualizing your success and affirming your strengths, you can transform the energy you bring into any room. Whether you're applying for a job, starting a project, or entering a tough negotiation. These tools prepare your subconscious for success, making it part of who you are, not just something you do. So, I challenge you, each morning, Take a moment to visualize one goal as if you've already achieved it. Feel it deeply, then anchor that vision with a strong, positive affirmation about your ability to make it happen. Repeat this daily. It's not magic, it's mindset. And as you reshape your thoughts, you reshape your outcomes. Your mindset shapes the way you view the world. It's not about seeing things for what they are, but for what they could be when you're at your best. With you at the center of that transformation, everything changes. Remember, as Seneca said, life is what our thoughts make it. So, let's make it phenomenal. Have you ever felt stuck, like your creativity just isn't flowing? It's as if you're treading water, repeating the same ideas without moving forward. I've been there more times than I care to admit. It feels like standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing where you want to go but unsure how to get there. But here's the thing. Creativity isn't a magical spark that hits out of nowhere. It's a skill, a muscle that can be built. I remember a time when nothing I thought of felt fresh. Every idea seemed stale. That's when I turned to the wisdom of the Stoics, and specifically to Marcus Aurelius. He believed our minds had the power to shape our realities, to transform our challenges. Inspired by that, I started challenging my own mental routines. I intentionally broke free from my daily patterns. One thing that changed everything was setting aside time just to think. No distractions, no deadlines. I began taking long walks, leaving my phone behind, just carrying a notepad. These walks became sacred. Ideas began to flow effortlessly, coming from the quiet spaces where my mind could finally make new connections, finding solutions I had never seen before. And then, I embraced the Stoic practice of seeing obstacles as opportunities. Challenges didn't become setbacks, they became chances to innovate. This shift in mindset didn't just help me get past problems, it changed how I approached my work from the ground up. I started taking risks I'd previously avoided. I started to experiment, pushing past creative limits that once seemed out of reach. Now think about your own creative blocks. The next time you face one, don't let frustration take over. Instead, ask yourself, what if this block is a sign that it's time to try something new? Change your environment, engage in a new activity, or collaborate with someone who challenges the way you think. Creativity thrives on fresh perspectives. And here's the secret. The more you work those creative muscles, the stronger they become. Start small. Today, challenge yourself to come up with 3 new uses for a simple object in your home, or 3 topics you've never explored before in your work. It's not just about finding immediate solutions, it's about fostering a mindset that actively seeks innovation. There's also another universal truth I've learned. It's not about how we succeed that defines us, but how we turn our challenges into opportunities for growth. We all face those moments when we want to give up. I've had my share, but through each of those moments, I discovered that strength doesn't come from avoiding difficulty. It comes from using those obstacles as stepping stones to become better. Let's talk about mental flexibility for a moment. It's not just about bending without breaking. It's about learning to dance in the storm. I learned this during a tough year, when everything seemed to go wrong. Life tested me in ways I never expected. But during that storm, I turned to the Stoics for wisdom. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That became my mantra. Instead of seeing setbacks as roadblocks, I began to see them as opportunities to build resilience. It didn't make the problems disappear, but it changed how I approached them. Instead of feeling defeated, I felt energized, eager to find solutions and adapt in ways I hadn't before. Now think about your own life. When was the last time you faced something that seemed insurmountable? How did you react? Imagine if, instead of resisting change, you embraced it. By building mental flexibility, you're preparing yourself to anticipate and adapt to challenges before they even arise. Building this kind of strength isn't immediate. It requires intentional practice. Think of it like training for a marathon. You wouldn't run 26 miles right away. You start small, gradually building your endurance. Similarly, challenge yourself daily in small ways. Take a different route to work, try a new recipe, tackle a problem from a new angle. Every new experience builds your mental capacity, just as every run builds your physical endurance. I've reached moments in my life when I thought I had learned enough, achieved enough, and was ready to coast. But it was only then that I realized the journey of growth is never finished. The Stoics, especially Seneca, taught me the importance of lifelong learning. As long as you live, keep learning how to live, he said. This idea struck me deeply. Learning is not a destination, it's a journey with no end. Each skill you master, each book you read, and each new connection you make helps deepen your understanding of the world and your place within it. Striving for peak performance isn't just about excelling. It's about transforming the challenges you face into opportunities for growth. The pursuit of this growth has taught me that peak performance is a process, not a final destination. So I challenge you, think about your own life. Are there areas where you could push a little harder, reach a little further, or learn something new? The beauty of this journey is that it's yours and yours alone. Maybe it's taking a course that intimidates you, stepping into a new role, or picking up a new hobby that stretches the way you think. The Stoics emphasized discipline and self-examination as tools for growth. They believed that the more we challenge ourselves, the more we can grow in wisdom and character. This mindset not only improves us, but increases our capacity to contribute positively to the world around us. So I challenge you to make a commitment, not to a specific goal, but to the process of lifelong learning. Every day is an opportunity to learn, refine, and grow. Whether through reading, dialogue, or hands-on experience, let each day add a layer to your foundation of knowledge and performance. In this ever-evolving world, the only constant is change. By committing to lifelong learning and striving for peak performance, you're not just adapting to change, you're anticipating it, embracing it, and using it as a tool for success. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle is the way." Let each challenge be a stepping stone toward achieving your goals and becoming the very best version of yourself. Thank you for taking this journey with me today. Keep pushing, keep growing, and let's continue to unlock our true potential together.